Just a quick word about chosen ones, another chosen one message. Again, I put out these chosen one videos for the chosen remnant, for those that are truly chosen. I don't put it out because I'm trying to do hashtag chosen ones and get on that trend or whatever you want to call it. I don't put it out because I think I'm something I'm not. I don't put it out because just anything more than the fact that I am a chosen one. Other chosen ones are out there. God is literally using YouTube as a vessel to be able to communicate with other chosen ones because they're spread out. Some people think chosen ones are in the majority. They think, oh, there's lots of chosen ones. I'm chosen. I talk to God. No. There's people that are chosen ones that don't even have a relationship with God. They just haven't developed it yet. But if you're like a truly wicked person, like what it comes down to is your heart space. God judges your heart space. So if you're truly a wicked person, you're not a chosen one. Chosen ones are typically the people that, whether they have a relationship with God or not, they have been chosen and appointed by God. So a time will come when that chosen one will start to establish their relationship with God, but there's a good chance that they had a relationship with God somewhere in their life, whether it had been in childhood, they were raised religious. Like in my case, I knew that I had a close relationship with God since I was young, like very young, as far back as I can remember. And I would go to church with my grandma and things like that in Sunday school. And it cultivated a relationship early. I remember like reading through my Bible, my picture Bible, when I was 10, 11 years old. So yeah, obviously I fell off at one point due to Satan trying to attack me, because Satan knows who the chosen ones are. God knows who the chosen ones are from birth, and so does Satan. So Satan will purposely attack those chosen ones. So the true markings of a chosen one are A, that you've never fit in, no matter what. And it doesn't make sense why you don't fit in, because you were good at things, you were sociable, you were decent looking, but you were a square peg in a round hole. You had some sort of association with God. It's not like you grew up satanic or you worship Satan or something. You had some sort of relationship with God in your life, at some point in time. And third, Satan has tried to attack you relentlessly from a very young age, like through addictions, bad relationships, bad choices, things like anything to try to get you off the straight and narrow path, the chosen path, more or less. Okay, there's more too, but if you have those top 3 signs in your life, there's a good chance you're a chosen one. Either you have already been awakened in the last 2-3 years, since 2020, and we know what happened in 2020. I'm not gonna say it, but let's just say it was global. Around that time, God really started to awaken chosen ones. They might have been awakened before that, I'm not sure, but for me it was post 2020. And he's telling me that a lot, like he's kind of tapped you on the shoulder since 2020. So it could have been last month, could have been 3 years ago, could have been last year, could have been 6 months ago, and maybe it hasn't even happened yet. Maybe it'll happen in the next 6 months, right? But yeah, so if you're a chosen one, you're not just going to be chosen and live your life normal, working at your job with no tap on the shoulder from God. If that doesn't happen to you, then you're not chosen. A true chosen one will receive a nudge from God, and it will be him pulling you onto the path, whether you like it or not. So that's the difference. Is I've just noticed there's a lot of people out there that say they're chosen, hashtag chosen. They throw the word around very loosely, but the truth of the matter is that there's hallmarks to being chosen. You can't fake or front it. They either are or they aren't. And there are some true chosen ones that speak about being chosen on YouTube. Not all of them, but some of them are true, yes. I'm one of them. And so with that said, now going back to what I was originally saying, God gets me and other true chosen ones like myself to put out these messages for the remnant, not so that other non-chosen ones can come across our videos and like if you're making fun of a chosen one, or you're like, oh, I don't think he or she is chosen, they're just saying that, they're crazy, ha ha ha, you're not chosen. You're one of the evil, wicked people that belong on the other team. These videos are not for you. These videos are put out, chosen ones put out videos for other chosen ones. It's so that we can communicate with each other, so that, because we all receive a similar message from God, but we receive it in different ways. So I may receive this XYZ message, but I get like these bits and pieces. Then a fellow chosen one might get the same similar message, but they receive it in these other pieces. And it's like different pieces. It's like we all get a piece or two to the 50-piece puzzle, and then we can slowly ourselves put our puzzles together with each other's pieces. So I follow other chosen ones because I'm chosen, and I know who truly is and who isn't. So when I put these videos out, they're not just for entertainment purposes. They're not just for someone to come along and listen to. I know that I have people that purposely, like on my channel here, that don't like me, that purposely try to listen to my videos. These aren't for you. You know, I know you might think that they are, whatever, because you're vain, but these are not for you. These videos are put out for those who either are aware they're chosen or are going to become aware they're chosen, because these videos are timeless. God could bring this across somebody's page, you know, next week, next month, next year, right? We don't know God's timelines. That's another thing too, is that people want to hold prophets and chosen ones to what they say. They're like, well, you said 6 months ago that this was going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. You must be fake. No, that's not true. It's that we're working in God's timelines. So what we may think God said is coming up in the next week, God's saying, nah, I'm intending that to happen in 2 years or next month. You know, we don't know his timelines. We just are. It's so hard to explain. We are nudged and pushed to put out the messages that he tells us to put out. And they're not put out, well, some people put out their messages to get attention or to get money or to get likes and a fan base. I don't do that. True chosen ones don't do that. True chosen ones are pushed by the Lord specific to put out messages for either the chosen ones that are currently aware they're chosen, so that they can get their puzzle pieces and move forward accordingly, or for those that are up and coming to get their tap on the shoulder from God, to awaken to their chosen ranking, that they can know where they stand, so that they can come across these videos and fill in the blanks. These videos are also helpful for anyone who may eventually in time go through wrath, whether you go through wrath last week, this week, or next month, or next year. If you were to come across some of the chosen ones videos, some of them may make sense to you, and it's not because you're chosen per se. It's because they talk about spiritual warfare and Satan and how he moves. So it's good for listening to for others, so that they can learn insight, right? Doesn't mean that every single person that puts out a chosen one video is chosen. It doesn't mean that every single person that comes along a chosen one's video is chosen. Just because you listen to a chosen one's video and you think, well, that sounds like me, you're not suddenly miraculously chosen. God chooses these specific individuals from birth, like I already said, and there's a specific sequence of events that occurs, that goes on from very early age up until probably your 20s or 30s, because you're not going to probably realize you're chosen in your teens. You're just too immature. It requires a certain amount of wisdom and maturity development in order for you to receive your nudge from God, your tap on the shoulder. From there, once you receive your tap on the shoulder, God will not leave you alone. He will start working a refining process in you. He's always been with you, whether you were aware of it or not. But he's going to start a refining process in you, where he starts to refine you into to fit the mold of his true chosen ones. So he has an actual model of his, once his chosen ones have reached a certain development, that's the model that he wants you to be in. But it takes time to get there, right? You have to grow into it, especially spiritually. It takes a lot of spiritual growth, because God knows that he's trying to do this whilst you're in this evil world, while Satan is trying to attack you. So it takes time. And so that's another thing too, is that anyone that tries to judge chosen ones and say, well, it's taking you a long time or whatever, well, of course it is. Again, we're on God's timeline. That's the thing, is 90% of the stuff that other people don't understand about prophets and chosen ones, it's not the chosen ones and prophets you don't understand. It's that you're spiritually immature. You're ignorant to what is going on. So that's why it's probably best that if you're not a true chosen one, to not even tune in to the messages, because they're just going to go over your head. You're going to look at it from a very limited understanding, like a child. Okay. So there's no meat there for you. So you may as well just go, back to celebrity news or whatever, or, celebrity gossip or whatever it is else that you could be doing on YouTube, right? These messages that are put out by myself and other true chosen ones are meant for other chosen ones to come across and listen so they can get their pieces, like I already said, or for those that are going to be up and coming to have a go-to so they can understand. Because when you first get tapped by God, he leads you towards the true prophets and the true chosen ones. He guides you towards it. It's not like I woke up one Monday morning and was like, well, gee, I better go on and see if there's some chosen one prophetic words out there. No, it was totally God just leading me into it. And he's done the same thing with others as well, right? So, like so many have said, they work for God, right? And you really do. And even if you try to say, no, I that's weird, that doesn't make sense, that's strange, and you let your carnal mind try to process it, God won't allow you to do that. He's like, no, get back over here. So there's a process. Whereas those that don't understand, that's how you know you're not chosen, because only the chosen ones understand. So for me, I put these chosen one videos out for if any true chosen ones may come across it at any time, whether they already have or whether they will in the future. Because like I say, these messages are timeless and they're governed by the Lord. So he dictates, who I listen to, who I come across, who comes across me, who listens to me, things like that. So now with that said, he has a message for the true chosen ones, and he's trying to say that at this time he is like trying to reveal things to the true chosen ones, and you are going to have those onlookers that are trying to, like I've talked about it before in my past messages, they work for Satan whether they realize it or not. They may not think that they do. They may think that they're perfectly fine, they're righteous, they're a good person. I just work, I donate to charity, I'm a good mom, I'm a good dad, I'm a good person, blah blah blah. But if you're not on team Jesus, team God, then you're on team Satan. That's how it is. There's a dividing line there, right? You're either cold or hot. You can't be lukewarm, and God won't allow lukewarm. So if you're a little bit cold, a little bit hot, God considers that lukewarm and he'll spit you out. So with going by those words in the Bible, it means that there's no middle ground. You're either on it or you're off it, right? So if you're not fully living for God, living for Jesus, then you in turn, with that said, then are living for Satan. So if you don't spend every single day trying to live for the Lord, then you're living for Satan. And if you're living for Satan, he can use you. And how will he use you? He will use you to attack the chosen ones, okay? The chosen ones are being delegated and set aside for a time that's coming in the future. I don't know I only get these things in little bits and pieces. I don't know every single little thing, right? And God unfolds more to me as time goes by. So I know more now today than I did last year, right? And I'll know more next year than I do today. God develops the chosen ones at his own pace. But the other reason that we're chosen, because there's numerous reasons why chosen ones are chosen, right? But God's telling me that another one of the reasons why we are chosen is because he has set us aside for training and spiritual understanding. Now, granted, in these last few years, it hasn't made sense. It seemed like, well, why would God set you apart for this? Why would God spiritually train you? What's the point? Like, what would be the point of this? because there's things coming up and coming down the road in the future that we don't yet know. If I would have said to you 5-10 years ago, hey, there's something coming up in 2020 that's going to be a global pandemonium, global chaos, again, not saying the word on this video, but we all know what it is. If I had said there's like a sickness coming, right, in 2020 per se, you would have thought I was crazy, right? But yet it happened. It happened, right? So here we are now in 2023. There's something that could be coming in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027 that we don't yet know about yet, right? But God does. So therefore, he has been training up the chosen ones over these last several years to prepare them for whatever is up and coming. That again is how they are the quote unquote chosen ones, because they have been chosen for a special specific assignment that the majority has not. So picture out of 100 people, out of those 100 people, probably only 1 to 10 of those people are true chosen ones. So therefore 90% of the population are not, this is going to go over their head. They're not chosen. They don't understand. It sounds crazy to them. They like to laugh. They think it's funny. Haha. But myself, other chosen ones in God, we don't care. We know what's going on. Other chosen ones, true chosen ones, know what's going on with them. I know what's going on with me. God knows what's going on with us. That's okay. It's, they'll see as time unfolds, right? So because this is going to be up and coming eventually, God is at this time preparing chosen ones today, and has been for a while, for what is coming up in the future. So we don't yet know. It's no different than Noah's Ark. God knew he was going to flood the earth, right? He knew he was. Noah didn't know that. No human knew that, but God knew that. So therefore he went to Noah. He didn't go to the whole town. He went to Noah. So meaning, say Noah lived in a town of just say 100 people. He didn't go to 100 people. He went to one person and said, hey there, Noah, build me an ark. And of course Noah's thinking, what? Build an ark for what? Why would I build an ark? It's dry out. There's no water. Why would I be building an ark? And God's unfolding instructions to Noah as he's going. He didn't go and say, well, this is what's going to happen, and let me tell you about this, and let's have a chat. No, he unveiled the instructions bit by bit as Noah went along and was following God's lead. He revealed what he wanted him to do step by step by step. How long do you think it took to build that ark? It wasn't done in a week. It wasn't done in a month. It took years to build that ark, right? So going to what I'm saying, God gave Noah an advance notice, not of what was to come per se, but of what to do to prepare for what was to come. And man didn't know, but God did. And so Noah went ahead as the chosen one of the group, the one and only, and went and started to follow and put in God's instructions and build the ark. And it says in the Bible that everyone thought Noah was crazy. They were laughing at him, and it was big funny and all this stuff, because why is this guy building an ark? What the heck? But then when God came along and flooded the earth, it made sense, right? It clicked. And then at that point, Noah figured out what he'd been doing, and everyone else, the rest of the majority, was like, oh, Noah, let us get into the ark, but God wouldn't allow it, right? So that's kind of a similar thing as to what I'm saying here, is that there's something coming up in the future, like the flood, and God is getting his chosen ones, who are Noah's, to follow his instructions of what he's telling them to do in preparation for what's to come. Of course, people are going to laugh at you and say you're crazy and this and that and the third. That's what is like, that's what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to do what's told to you, and the majority is supposed to act like that. That's what happened to Noah in the Bible. So to follow with biblical purpose, everyone's on track. They're playing their roles accordingly, right? God's playing his cards right. You're playing your cards right as the chosen one, and the majority, all the others, the onlookers, are playing their cards as the onlookers. Everyone is playing their role accordingly. So you just continue to do what you're doing. You continue to build and follow what the Lord is telling you. Ignore the mockers and the talkers. They're going to do what they do. They work for Satan. It is what it is. You just continue to do what you're supposed to do, because there will be a point, even if at this time it doesn't seem like there's no point, just like Noah was thinking, like, why am I doing this? What's the point of this? The point showed itself, right? Eventually the point came along. So the reason why people are also chosen is because they're like Noah, where they were specifically chosen by God to do something in preparation for the future, right? Now, what that looks like in the future, I don't know. No one can know, no one can guess, right? But yeah, this is a pretty loaded message. I'm going on a lot of things right now, but I got this message from the Lord that he wanted me to put out about chosen ones and just kind of clear up some mess, because he's telling me that people, unfortunately, okay, so Satan has gotten people to say they're chosen when they're not, just to bring down the morale of the true chosen ones. He's working in the majority of the people right now, the onlookers, and getting them to do what they do like they did in Noah's days, to laugh and joke and ha 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 and all this, because it's to try to discourage the chosen ones. But did it discourage Noah? No, I'm pretty sure that ark still got built and the animals went on it and they got saved, right? It's like, it didn't stop Noah, it didn't stop God. Things just still went according to God's plan, and things will always go according to God's plan, period. So the true chosen ones are not bothered by the onlookers. They know they have a mission to complete. They will complete it, just like Noah completed his mission. And so just keep it in mind, if there's a true chosen one that comes across this video, I hope this gives some insight to you. And just ignore anyone else that may be saying stuff, because back in Noah's days, when that flood came, those laughers weren't laughing anymore. And there will come a time that the same thing unfolds, right? Just like I said, if I had said in 2016, 2017, hey, something's coming up in 3-4 years, it's going to be crazy, I would have been looked at as crazy too, right? But it happened. So, just ignore whoever's saying whatnot, because they don't know what's to come, and neither do you. Just keep following what God tells you to do. So that's another way that chosen ones are chosen, is that there's many ways, but one of the ways is that they're chosen for an assignment that's to come, that is still yet to come in the future. Could arise in weeks, could arise in months, could arise in years, but it's something to come down the road that God's specifically preparing us for. And just beware, because not every single person that says #chosen is actually chosen. And those that make fun of the chosen ones are not chosen either, because true chosen ones understand chosen ones. And you got to be careful, because there's a lot of fakes out there. I've personally witnessed them that say that they're chosen, and then God will lift the mask and show that they're really truly not. Anyone that's making fun of chosen ones works for Satan. Anyone that doesn't understand chosen ones works for Satan. If you get your nudge or your tap, you'll know it. It won't just hit you by surprise. There will be a buildup in your life that will have led to your understanding of your calling and who you are. And yeah, haha, kiki, it's really funny today, but it's not going to be funny down the road.